Hey everyone, welcome to our live show. And my name is Anna. I'm a founder of Teachers Love You Do. And today we're having a great webinar as always. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see everyone who joined us. I can see Farid, friend. How are you? I hope you're feeling really great. I know these days were tough for you, but stay blessed. And I want to welcome everyone who joined us on Facebook, and also we are going live today, not only on YouTube, as on Facebook, as I mentioned before, and on Twitter. So stay tuned and welcome. I would love to mention that today we are learning all about Ozobots and coding robotics in the classroom, which is it really sounds amazing to me because I have never done it. But I watch for Jennifer's Instagram, and she does really amazing things in her classroom. I tell you. So you will love it. And also, I would love to know from which part of the world you're tuning from. What is your teacher role exactly? And today we are sharing, as usually, Jennifer has prepared amazing resource collection, of course, on Wakelet, with resources that will help you out, and you will know how to start. You will have opportunity to learn a little bit deeper, and I'm sure that you will love it. And also, if you have any questions, any questions, you can drop them in the Q&A box, and Jennifer will help you out with them. And I would also love to mention that we've got resource collection where you can add your feedbacks, and don't forget to mention your contacts, or you can just post your assignments, your wows, hows, your feedbacks on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Please don't forget to tag Jennifer. This is her handle. She is on Instagram, pretty active, and on Twitter, and myself, and also Ozobot. So don't forget to mention hashtag Teachers Love You Do, and I would really appreciate it so I can see what you learned, what you enjoyed, and what your assignment is all about. And here is the collection that I have already actually attached it in the description box to the video, to our video on YouTube. So you can go and you can you can just open it and prepare, because you will want to share with your excitement, I'm sure. And so again, any questions, drop them in the Q&A box. I can't wait to see and to look through the chat who have already joined us. I can see Chafia and Shamal from Iraq. Thank you so much for joining. And from all over the world. I really love this part, looking through the chat. This is fantastic. And I would love to welcome Shireen and also Auni. Thanks so much for joining us. And I can't wait to invite Jennifer Mahin. And she's incredible, inspiring. And I'm going to mention, hello, Jennifer.
Hello. I'm happy to
Everything
be here.
about
Thank
you.
you.
Yay. Yay. I really want to introduce you because you are incredible. So you're a K5 STEM teacher and technology integration specialist at East Elementary School. You're a Flipgrid trainer. Yes, go Flipgrid. Per deck coach, also board certified educator, CISA ambassador, and was named the Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert Rookie of the Year Award in 2021. And you presented at several educational conferences across the nation, sharing computer science, STEM education, and how you started as STEM programming, and it's amazing. I haven't seen anything that you do in your classroom. You're like magician. Okay, please do share what have you prepared, like agenda for today, and anything that you would love to mention about yourself. You are so welcome. Good luck to you, and thank you that you are sharing today with us. You're amazing.
Thank you. I am so excited. So today I'm going to be talking a lot about Ozobot and how I use Ozobot in my elementary classroom. I'm also going to be sharing a little bit of app smashing between Ozobot and Flipgrid, and just some other coding things I use. So like I said, I teach kindergarten through 5th grade, and I start in kindergarten teaching students how to use computer science, how to code, how to do robotics. So I'm just really excited to share what I've done, what I've created, and how I'm able to do that with kids. Because when you think about kindergarten, like I'm teaching
Yes.
those kids algorithms and so many like huge words and just different things. It's so different than what I remember doing in kindergarten. So it's just awesome, and I'm really excited to
Absolutely.
share.
That's what was in my mind, actually. Yeah.
Awesome. So I am going to share my screen if that's all right.
Sure, 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 sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Make sure I do this.
Yeah, I love this part. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah,
Perfect.
it's on. It's on.
Yay. All right. So I'm going to share with you Ozobots in the classroom. And like she said, I am an Ozobot certified educator. And basically, what that means to be an Ozobot certified educator, I highly recommend it. If you have Ozobots, if you want to get into Ozobots, maybe you don't even know what an Ozobot is. So I have one right here if I can get it out. So this little guy here is an Ozobot robot. They are very small. Like here it is in my hand. So a very small robot. I use them for Blockly coding. And to be an Ozobot certified educator, basically what you do is you have to submit 3 lessons that you want to share with other educators a year, and you just present on Ozobot. So I lead a lot of Twitter chats on Ozobot and how I use them in the classroom, some different ways to get students engaged or creativity. So some things like that. So yeah, that's basically what an Ozobot certified educator is. And the awesome part is when you become an Ozobot certified educator, they send you a classroom kit of Ozobots. So they sent me 12 Ozobots for being a certified educator. So I actually have, I think I have like 28 of these now, but yeah. So what are Ozobots? They are small robots that are designed to introduce coding. There's 2 different ways that you can do it. And like I said, it's Blockly coding, which is the block coding, or color coding. And they really empower students for STEM or STEAM education. They can be used as low as kindergarten or up to 12th grade. I mean, adults love to use them. There's so many ways you can use Ozobots in your classroom. Yeah.
Wow.
So let me tell you a little bit about the Ozobot Classroom. So basically, the Ozobot Classroom is a platform that makes it easy for a teacher to find lessons. You can find pre-made lessons that teachers are creating, that Ozobot is creating, and that they're sharing. All of these lessons are standard-based. They align to the standards. They have the objectives, descriptions. They come with full-on pages of lesson plans. And what I love about this is, so I have a makerspace classroom in addition to my STEM lab. So I have a binder full of STEM Ozobot lessons down there. So educators can just pull a lesson and dive right in, and they know what they're doing. You don't even really have to have the coding experience, the computer science experience, because the Ozobot Classroom is made for every experience level, and that's what I love. You can filter lessons per grade level. They have everything from K-12. They have different subjects areas. So they have computer science, math, reading, history, ELA, science, social emotional learning, and a ton more. There's just so many options. And it's student-centered learning. They have pacing guides, and they have places to help you manage the device. They also, with your Ozobot kit, you get a little USB drive. And the benefit of this is, so if each one of my students has an Ozobot, it's able to track their progress. It tracks what their codes are, where they're at, what they've completed. So you can kind of check further your students' progress, and you have that documented. So another thing with Ozobots, you can do this with a device or without. I use just the robot usually and markers. So when I say color coding, what that means, I have the kit over here if I get it. What that means is you're literally just using 4 markers to color code. The Ozobot travels along a black line, and different colors tell the robot what it's going to do. Maybe it's going to spin or turn right or go faster or slower. So the color coding is what I use most often, and that's literally with 4 simple markers. And it doesn't even have to be Ozobot markers. This came with my kit. You can use any brand of marker, but they just travel along a black line. So Ozoblockly is the app version of this. So what that means is you can use the block coding and you can calibrate it to your robot. So everything you do on the iPad, once you calibrate it, your little robot will perform whatever you did on the app. Super fun. I do more Ozoblockly with my 4th and 5th grade students and a lot more color coding with my younger students. I do the color coding with everyone, but I kind of save Ozoblockly just for some of my older students. So I attached a little picture here so you can kind of see what Ozoblockly looks like, and that can be done on a computer. We are one-to-one with Chromebooks, and I have 15 iPads in my STEM lab. So my students use Ozoblockly either on the Chromebook or on iPads.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. And I like the markers that you mentioned. This is absolutely for the pre-K and yeah, yes.
Yes, and these are just typical markers but once the robot, I don't know if you can see, but on the bottom of it, you'll see like the lines right here, and that's where it reads the color code. So like I can turn it on and it lights up, it does different things. But underneath here, that's where it reads the color codes right there. So it's a super fun robot. The students love it. And when you just literally see kids drawing lines, you can just draw a black line across the paper with a black marker and your robot's going to follow it. And
Wow.
I think when you think of younger students, just giving them the markers and like it looks like they're scribbling, there's markers everywhere.
Yes.
But to see the robot following the path and then start teaching them, okay, if you wanted to turn right, try this code. If you wanted to do this, try this code. And it's just interesting to see how this, with their lessons with Ozobots, evolve and all the parts that go into it. It's so much fun for kids, and it's so much fun for me. And you can always tell when we've used Ozobots because the kids will leave here with like markers on their hand. There's markers on the table, but I'm like, hey, we're learning. It's fine. It's fine.
Incredible classroom you've got. This what everyone wants. Where the place where everyone wants to be.
Yeah, I'm definitely probably the favorite classroom, and I'll take that. I call it organized chaos in here. It's kind of messy, but whatever. So this next thing I want to show you is the Ozobot Simulator, and this is new. And I love this. I wish this would have came out earlier. During 2020, 2021, when a lot of districts were going remote or hybrid learning, Ozobot came out with this Ozo Simulator. And what this is, it's basically the exact same thing as Ozoblockly. You can do all the coding, everything right here in this space. And I attached a picture so you could kind of see what it looks like. But it's so cool because the students are coding, and instead of actually having to have the physical robot, if you see the little dot on the top right corner, that's once you complete the code, the Ozobot will do that code in the corner. So you don't have to have the robot. Now, when my students were quarantined or remote, some of them were able to do this, and it was awesome because I could be doing a lesson here in class and they could be doing the exact same thing at home, but without the robot. And that made it easier for everyone to be involved in doing it. And I just love being able to have everyone doing the same thing and kind of at their own location.
Wow. So, and they are able to see like the movements and everything that they create on the screen, right? It's like moving.
Yeah. So if you see that top right corner where the little grid is right there, once you complete your code, the little robot lights up and it like zooms in and it shows you what the Ozobot's doing. So it's a way for the students to have that simulator, still see the thing, but not have the physical robot in their hand. And you can also calibrate it. So you can use the simulator on an actual robot, but if you don't have it, you can just use that. So you have pretty much two different options there.
Phenomenal. I love this.
Thanks. I do too, actually. So now I'm going to give you a few reasons why you need robots. If you see this picture here, my students did, we read the story Balloons Over Broadway, which is all about like the history of the Macy's Day Parade. And we put on a parade in our classroom. A local grocery store donated balloons, and my students decorated them to look like floats in a parade. And we attached them to the little robot and made Lego New York City skyscrapers and all sorts of different things. But you can see there's little robots on that track just going in the parade route. And we did that for 3 different grade levels, and they loved it. And then we created a whole video of balloons over Broadway and shared them with all the grades. And it was such a fun experience for them. We did learn though, if you made your balloon too heavy, it didn't float anymore, and then it wasn't as cool, but we tried.
This is so much fun. I adore
Yes.
it.
So reasons I love Ozobots. I teach STEM. I have every robot out, I feel like, for elementary. I have most of them. But what sets Ozobot aside more than most is I feel like when you buy a lot of robots, you have to buy the curriculum. You have to buy some package to be able to use them. And when you're already spending that amount of money, I don't want to spend anything extra on the curriculum. So my favorite things about Ozobot is they have a free lesson library with tons of lessons. And some of these lessons are created by educators, some are created by Ozobot themselves, and some are just community members who put lessons in there. And I love that it's free. So once you spend the money, get the robot, you have access to everything else for free. And that's great to me.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
The
I'm
best
like,
part.
that's my favorite part. So they also do, when the Ozobot crew creates the videos, they make tutorial videos. They have like each lesson that Ozobot creates will have like 5 to 8 different videos that breaks down the Ozobot lesson step by step by step. So when I'm doing a lesson, say with kindergarten or first grade, I can play that quick 2-minute video, have my students, we're watching it. Oh, okay. They're modeling it for you. So I can be circulating around helping students while they're watching that video. And to me, that's great for kids.
Absolutely.
So, and then after, they do that first step, there's a video that might cover step 2 and 3, and they can watch it. It models for them. We can go around and do it. And those step-by-step tutorial videos not only make it easy for me to do Ozobots with small, younger students, but I think about teachers in my maker space who want to incorporate Ozobot, but might not have that computer science Ozobot training. That video teaches the students step by step by step how to complete that lesson. So if educators are nervous or aren't comfortable,
not confident, confident at the very first.
It gives them that confidence to do these lessons, no matter what their knowledge of computer science is. And that for me has been huge, with one of the reasons I love to promote Ozobot, because I feel like anyone can use these lessons. And I love that.
So these videos are made for teachers and from teachers as well. Yes.
Yes.
This library.
So most of the videos were created by Melissa Toohey, who was formerly a teacher. Now she works for Ozobot. And when she creates lessons for the community, she adds fabulous lesson plans. We're talking like 13 pages, step by step. You say this, if you want to use that, you can. But then it has these step-by-step videos created for educators, for students, for everyone, just to kind of make Ozobot a user-friendly experience.
Wow. This is And how many students are there in one group where you teach?
So in each class that I have, a class size is between 15 to 20 kids. Wow. And a classroom set of Ozobots comes with 12. So I usually have kids work in pairs, and then one Ozobot for the 2 students. They share, work together. And sometimes in my classroom, I have like 18 of them. So each kid gets their own.
So pair work plus you've got amazing classroom management. This is super inspiring to me.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Another thing I love about the Ozobots is how it gives you 2 different ways to code. Most robots are only Blockly coding, and this gives you the option for color codes or Blockly. And with color codes, I can start students out in kindergarten, first grade right away doing this color coding, and they can handle it because it's different. And I really enjoy this. I like that you can do it any K through 12 grade level, and it can be integrated into any subject area. And I'm going to show you some ways that I use Ozobots in different subject areas and different ways you can increase student engagement. So prior to being a STEM teacher, I taught 5th grade math and social studies. So I feel like I understand the importance of integrating coding into the classroom. Like if you're just teaching a lesson, why not make it hands-on? Why not make it exciting and an experience for kids. So I'm going to show you some lessons from the free lesson library that kind of make this more exciting for students to use Ozobots. So like I already said, the free lesson library, I kind of just took a screenshot and added it here so you could see what it looks like when you log in. It's lessons designed by Ozobot certified educators, different people. They're all standard based and they're created by Ozobot to include tutorials. Oh, before I do lessons, I'm going to talk about app smashing with Flipgrid. So I'm also a Flipgrid trainer. I love Flipgrid. I love how it empowers my students to share their voice. And, you know, like I said, I love pre-made free lessons. And Flipgrid has the Discovery Library. When you go to the Discovery Library in Flipgrid, I just typed in Ozobot really quick. And here are some of the topics I found in the Discovery Library to go with Ozobots already. There were some really great ones about telling time, but just anything you want to do with Ozobots, you can app smash it with Flipgrid. So I've had kids record their favorite color code. So they created their pattern on paper, and it's just plain paper we use. You can do cardboard, you can do construction paper, but they make their color codes, and then they put their robot on there, and then they got on Flipgrid and they recorded, you know, their favorite color code. They showed it. They showed their robot doing the action, and then they kind of they presented why it was their favorite, what it did, what colors they used. So now you're not only bringing in that computer science, but students are presenting, they're speaking, they're sharing with their classes and building that sense of community using Flipgrid. And you can see here that there's tons of different topics. There's summer reading nonfiction. I don't know if that one's actually Ozobot. Ozobot introduction for teachers. I added one, Vasco da Gama meets Ozobot. So we were incorporating social studies into Flipgrid and Ozobot. The shorts camera is so great for me to show students when we were doing remote learning, hybrid learning. I use my shorts camera in Flipgrid to share ideas. I remember we wanted to do this big bowling activity and we went remote. So I was able to record the bowling activity and, you know, send it out, and students are predicting, oh, how many bowling pins the robot would knock over and different things like that. And especially with shorts, then you can use your Flipgrid AR code so students can scan it. And I love to do the Flipgrid AR for when I do Ozobot stations. I can record a shorts video with my Flipgrid AR camera or my Flipgrid AR code, put it there, leave an iPad, and if students get to that station and kind of need help with directions or anything, they can scan that code for a little reassurance for them. The Flipgrid topics really allow students to share their Ozobot designs with their classmates. And the last step of the design process we use in STEM is present. So Flipgrid really empowers them to share with their classmates, to show what they know. It's a great way to check for understanding. And it's a great way for them to collaborate across grade levels or other classes. So that's just a little bit about app smashing with Flipgrid. I love Flipgrid. So any way I can use the two together, I try. So I'm going to kind of show you now. Sorry. Yes.
Really love this part. Yeah, I just was taking a short story of you because this is my favorite moment of app smashing. One of the best ones, I think. And you just shared with such passion, so I just wanted to highlight it. Yay.
Well, thank you. I love Flipgrid. I love Ozobot, and anytime I can, you know, combine the two, it's been a great experience for students just to share what they've done. And even better is that there's already pre-made topics in the Discovery Library, because I am all about searching the Discovery Library so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. So if someone else already wants to make those topics and put them in there, I'm going to use them.
I want to give a shout out to Ron Moran. Dr. Ron Moran, thank you for joining us. Yeah, we miss you so much.
I know there's so many great comments in the chat. We have so many people joining us from different parts of the world. That's awesome. I'm so excited to share Ozobot with so many people. Because
you're amazing. You do such incredible things, like brilliant ones. I have never seen anything like this before.
Well, thank you. So let's chat about Ozobots in science. And in this next few slides, I'm just going to show you examples of lessons you can do with Ozobots. So these are some of the lessons that I've created and shared in the free lesson library. And then I've also included some snapshots of my students creating these lessons. So one activity I knew that students learned about was the water cycle. So I created a water cycle activity, and you can see the black circle there is where your Ozobot is traveling on. So students worked in pairs, just identifying different parts of the water cycle, putting in different vocab words, drawing pictures, and then at the end they added their Ozobot to show how the water cycle works. And then it was kind of a way to explain a continuous cycle. You know, the cycle of water continues. So your Ozobot's just going to continue in a circle because it has nowhere else to go.
Yeah, there's another great comment for it. I'm so sorry to interrupt. But,
no, you're fine.
No, I'm sorry. This one sounds great for STEM lessons, and this is absolutely
yes,
like the best ideas. I've never seen anywhere such amount of incredible ideas for STEM. Like you've got every day, daily. You post things like this daily on your Instagram.
I do. I think part of the reason I share so much on Instagram is because or Twitter, both, all of them, I'm everywhere. Yeah. When I first started teaching STEM, I had just transferred. Well, I was in the same district. I'm in my, I don't know, 7th year in this same building, but I'm in my 3rd different job here. So I started teaching special ed for a year, and then I taught 5th grade math and social studies for 3 years, and then I'm in my 3rd year of teaching STEM. And I remember when I first started teaching STEM, I had no idea really anything about computer science, anything about STEM and all of this stuff. So I used the social media platforms and, my professional learning network to grow and to learn, to understand ideas. I reached out to teachers all the time. I was like, I love what you're doing. How do I do that? Can you help me? And I feel like that experience has made me want to show other people what I'm doing. So since then, I started my own blog sharing how I started a makerspace, how I started a STEM program, and what I'm doing. Because I am in a small district. Like most districts around us, like I live in a town of 250 people. I teach in a town of 2,000. And I wrote a lot of grants to start all these programs to get what we have. So I love to share in hopes that I can inspire someone else, whether it's a lesson. I just think STEM is so important.
Amazing.
So I'm like, if I can show anyone what I'm doing and give them ideas and help them, I want to be that person.
Wow. I just have shared with the resource collection you have prepared. This is the biggest gift ever to every teacher who really want to start. And if you don't know how to start, if you want to learn from the best, so here you go. I have just shared. Please check out the chat, our live chat on YouTube, and you will find it. Okay.
Perfect. I appreciate you.
So we appreciate you.
Thanks. So some other ways, let me just transition into that. Some other ways you can integrate science into your Ozobot lessons. Yes, sharing is caring. I am all about sharing. Everything I create, I put out there for other people to use because I want people to share their lessons with me. So I'm like, I will give you what you want because I want other people to have this stuff. I want you to be using this stuff with your students. I see how much my kids love it. So like, start using it. Anywho, so some other ways you can use these small little Ozobots in science is you can learn about weather patterns. I have a snapshot here of constellations and the life cycle of animals, space exploration, the engineering design process. I said constellations already. Force and motion, food chain circuits, energy, and one of the activities I do with, I know 3rd grade learns the life cycle. So we do Ozobot life cycle patterns. We did the life cycle of a pumpkin, how it starts as a seed, what it goes to next, and the whole cycle of that. We've done the food chain. I knew we were learning about pollinators. So we talked about, what all can pollinate a flower? Is it just a bee? And then we talked about different things that pollinate and created maps so animals or the wind or the whatever could pollinate flowers. And it was just a different way for students to really learn those concepts in a hands-on, engaging way. Ozobots in math. So like I said, I taught 5th grade math and social studies. So I feel like I always go back to how can I make math more hands-on, more fun. So when I taught 5th grade, I was teaching multiplication facts, fractions, different shapes and angles. So I tried to come up with activities that would help my students really master those skills. So in STEM, whether I was in STEM, whether this in the makerspace, it's a great way to be innovative and partner work, small group math centers. So we do multiplication facts, even and odd numbers, fractions, measuring, creating shapes, angles, probability, identifying directions. So you can see in those pictures there that I don't know can't tell which one this is, but that's what like the map would look like. And students use color codes to go around maybe all the even numbers. So first I'd have them go through and like circle all the even numbers and then use color codes to go around them. Or if it was multiplication facts, circle all the multiples of 4 and then only go around numbers that are multiples of 4. So they'd have to think, not only are you practicing your multiplication skills, but now you have to think, okay, like, am I turning left here? Am I going right? Am I going straight? So you're using directionals, colors, it's so many skills all together, whether it's problem solving or it's just so many different aspects into one lesson that really, I think, creates that experience, that learning environment for students. So I also put in the STEM lab, 3rd through 5th grade students were practicing identifying factors. And I just kind of attached a little picture because I knew from teaching 5th grade that those were some challenging things for students. So we just kind of practiced in here. This next one I added was Ozobots in reading.
Wow.
And,
yes, reading.
Yeah. And I attached some ways that we kind of use this. This is great for story retelling activities, sequencing of events. I know, again, I keep going back to 5th grade, but it's what I taught before this. I knew we read The Greatest. Is it The Greatest? Or is it The Best? I don't know. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. It was a book. So I went and put a whole bunch of different facts from that book and some that were not. And the students had to sequence the story of events and then put them in a timeline and code the robot to go through the story. We use Ozobots for parts of speech, whether it's identifying nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, verbs, prepositions, interjections. Circle, the worksheet would basically say which one of these they were supposed to identify. They'd go through and circle it and then use their color codes to find those words, and you only wanted to go around the words that obviously that matched. I also, for Dr. Seuss, we did words for Dr. Seuss's birthday, and the students love that too. So there's so many different ways. What about group work and project-based learning? So I do a lot of group work in STEM, and especially with Ozobots, I only have students in groups of 2 usually, so that way they can share the robot. So I think Ozobots work great in small groups or by yourself, and you could definitely integrate Ozobots into project-based learning. I'm all about project-based, hands-on, whatever way I can get my students to be engaged and working together, collaborating.
Wow, that's great. So we can do anything, like.
Yeah, you can. So in this next one, I have some history ideas. And like I said, I taught history. So I had students, we were learning about Vasco da Gama and how he went around the tip of Africa up to Portugal. So I had students draw a map of Africa and label the different parts that they needed to know. And then I had them trace the route that Vasco da Gama went. And at the end, we added a color code. And we talked about how his journey took a lot longer than he expected. So what color code would you put in there? Would you make your Ozobot travel fast? Would you make your Ozobot travel slow? Like, which color code would represent the speed of his travel? So the kids were like, oh, okay, it took a while, so let's put in the slow code. I also taught about the 13 original colonies, and kids struggled with that. So we kind of put the map of the 13 original colonies in the United States, and I had them map them, use the different colors, and then they traced it with their Ozobots. So it could kind of show up here at the tops where the colonies began, and down here at the bottom is the last of the 13. We have done President's Day parades. I attached here at the bottom, it was a picture of, we celebrated Black History Month, and students wrote down 5 influential people from the Black History Month and did a timeline where your Ozobot, actually they put a code so it jumped from this line to the next line and go down, jump to the next line. So they were doing their timeline skills. They had to figure out what code's going to make my Ozobot jump from this line over to here and get there correctly. Because if you put the wrong code, your Ozobot wasn't going there.
Wow. Jennifer, do you have like a plan for every lesson, like even if it like deal with PBL, or you act like not like you attach to every project? I mean that your lesson plan, we can take them from the library as well, right? Or
yeah,
or
the free lesson library, you can search anything in there and click on it and print whatever you need. So some of these are lessons I created, and some of them are ideas that I found. Everything I have a picture of is stuff that I've created myself, but a lot of the other ones are ones I've found on the free lesson library. You can print them out. I mean, I could type in any specific topic, search it, print it, and I can instantly use it with my students within minutes.
Like step 1, step 2, and everything like this. Yeah. So
yes, everything has step-by-step instructions down to your standards, your objectives, follow-up activities. I mean, there's a lot of differentiation if your students need different levels. And what I like about them too is I have very wide varieties of, I don't want to say wide varieties, very wide range of ability levels. So a lot of the activities might come with the color code already in there, and maybe the student just has to fill out the information. Sometimes maybe the information's already there and the student just has to put in the color code, or maybe the student can do all of that on their own. So it gives you some different options to definitely differentiate too and change up your lesson to meet your student where they're at.
So at the very first step, if we talk about any project like we want to take in our classroom, the first best advice to take is just to watch the video probably, and provide good instructions, like do this visual content. Like, do you have any dyslexic learners or someone who's struggling, who's struggling with the reading or any other disabilities like in learning?
Yes. And that's what's nice. I do have students, like I said, with a wide range of abilities. And Ozobot really doesn't have a lot of reading. On the sheets, there's not too much reading. And a lot of it I can model in the front on my Clear Touch. Or if I have them working in groups, they can read together. So maybe partner 1's reading the directions. Partner 2 could be filling in some of the stuff. So it can easily be set up to meet your students where they're at, or to accommodate whatever needs you need to meet in your classroom.
Wow, your classroom management, as I told you before, is incredible. We need to learn that from you, absolutely. Especially in STEM.
Yes, STEM. I like to call it organized chaos because sometimes in here it is so loud, but like kids are learning, they're working together, and they're getting it done. So what might seem a little crazy to other people sometimes is I feel like well managed.
Yeah. Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, so some more social studies lessons I have listed here. Literally, you can do anything with Ozobots. And they have so many lessons for holiday and seasonal things. And what I love is that they don't just focus on Christmas. They have the holidays around the world. They have decorating the Kwanzaa Unity Cup. They have Dreidelbot, Ozo Dreidel. Maybe you just want to focus on winter traditions around the world. That's an option. They have a really great lesson for the Chinese New Year. That's what it is. The best Christmas pageant ever story retell activity. You can, and if you want to just focus on like winter, there's do you want to build a snowman, Christmas village, reindeer landing practice. And most of these are for K-12, K-5. Each lesson tells you what grade level it's for. Then there's some Thanksgiving activities and Easter activities as well. You can find lessons for every topic. So I'm actually going to show you, if I can stop sharing. Did I stop sharing?
Yeah, you stopped.
Okay, I want to show you the actual Ozobot library. So you can see, I'm trying.
You're doing great. Yeah, you're doing great. Just
thank you. Okay, so I think this is the lesson library I was telling you about here. So this is what it looks like when I log on as an educator. So let's say I want to do Chinese New Year is a fun one. Let's do that. I might have spelled it wrong.
I'm so bad at spelling.
But it's still going to get me there. So Lunar New Year, here's an activity. So if you can see here are all the videos I was just need my computer to cooperate. Here's all the videos I was just telling you about. You can see here, it's going to take you to like a YouTube playlist of videos. This activity, I hit the wrong button. This activity alone has 9 different videos to take your students step by step through so they know what they're doing. And it gives you a nice little description before you start. It tells you, okay, here's what you're going to learn. Here is all the academics standards it's going to go with. So there's an ISTE standard, there's computer science standards. This is a social studies lessons for pre-K through 8th grade. It's going to take you 45 minutes. You're going to need an Evo to do it. And then there's just resources here. You can rate the lesson. But if you click on the full lesson plan or the activity, it's going to download pages of pages that if I want to physically hold the lesson plan, I can print those out. It gives me the activity pages people need. So you can see here that your Ozobot's going to have a cute little decorated costume. You can see the path it's going to take. So there's lots of things involved for you, pre-made. And like I said, this one's by Ozobot. So it's already done for you, which I love that.
I love this organization, especially the short part with the description, because I hate reading, the one there is too much information at the very beginning, especially. So this is what we need.
Yeah. And I will say, I am not the teacher who's going to print out the lesson plans. I will never print out the lesson plans because I like to kind of do it my own way. But I love that these lesson plans are here, because if I put these in my makerspace and it's a teacher who might not be a computer science STEM teacher, maybe it's a 3rd grade teacher, they're going to be like so much more comfortable doing this lesson with the step-by-step instructions and the videos. Whereas I kind of know what I'm doing. I might play your videos, but I'm going to wing the rest of it and kind of just do what I want to do.
Your way is a highway. Yeah, you did such a creative way. This is what I was talking about. We've got the lesson plan, but you know how to act. You feel it, you sense it. It's like,
yeah, I love what I do, and it makes it really fun that way. The next thing, I'm kind of going to transition to one other thing I really, really like to do. And this is, where is it? This is Scratch Junior. So this is an app that I use all the time for kindergarten through 2nd grade. And if you teach computer science and you have iPads, I highly recommend Scratch Junior. It's an app, download it. I do not know how this is a free app. It is amazing. So I use this with kindergarten through 2nd grade, and I have 15 iPads. So if I have enough, I have students use one-to-one. Kindergarten, I always have them in groups of 2 because I need that second person to keep their partner in line. But so Scratch Junior is the coolest app. So it's basically just a computer science app where students can create so many different things. And I see a lot of teachers posting what they're doing. Like my friend Christine Dixon is an awesome STEM educator out of California. And she just posted that she read Stella Luna with her students, the book Stella Luna, and had students code the bat and code kind of like they're retelling the story using this app and computer science. And they're retelling, the events that happened, but they're putting the bat in here and they're coding what happened throughout the story. And I felt like that's such a great way to connect computer science and ELA.
Wow.
Yeah. And Scratch Junior has so many, I think I was already there and I clicked out of it. It kind of
we can watch it forever because there are so many beautiful pictures, and this descriptions again.
Wow. Yeah. So what I like about this is when I first opened Scratch Junior, I wasn't familiar with it. And I was like, where do you even begin teaching this to kindergartners? I was like, I don't even know where to start. So what I liked is that they have, I think it's 18, let's see. I think it's 18, nope, 9, 9 lessons that are pre-made, and it talks you through how to do this. So I'm just going to click on this here. And this helped my students so much. It showed them, first you're going to find a background. Then you're going to add a car. Then you're going to code your car, make it smaller, resize your car because it doesn't fit on the road.
It looks so easy.
Yeah, and then you're going to code it to drive from the beginning of the road 18 squares to the end of the road. And it broke it down in such a simple way that my students in kindergarten, it made sense. And my first and second grade students, I either had this picture on the board or I printed it out for them and put it in stations. And they could follow the pictures and code themselves. So maybe after I had two of these pictures here, they then went and were able to code themselves and do so much more. There was a background we found that had trees and there were apples. And we said, okay, let's find the background with the trees. Okay, I want you to code 2 apples to fall at different times from the tree. So then we coded it to do that. And we talked about, okay, well, when your apple falls, does it fall straight to the ground and sit there? Or do you think it would roll because it's on a hill? So they coded it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, we need to make it roll. So then I just see they're like adding to their codes and turning it so their apple starts rolling. And, someone else coded a deer to come in and eat the apple off the ground. And it was so crazy to see just such a simple activity and how we were connecting so many thoughts and how they wanted to take it a step further. And it was awesome.
And how all the skills of the 21st century integrated when you provide this. Actually, do you provide it as an assignment? Yeah. So it works the same way.
So when I would do something like this, I would, so I have my kindergarten through second graders, 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. And I would either do this I call them like coding stations, or maybe one kid's working on code.org, maybe one kid's working on Scratch Junior, and they're either working in their pair, working independently, or I'm sometimes modeling it in the front of the room, and they're matching it on their iPad. Wow. Yeah. So Scratch Junior is awesome. So I highly recommend if you are doing K through 2, K through 3 STEM coding, or you want to integrate this in and you have robotics, you need
You know what? I think it's easy and I like it. I like these big pictures and I like the step-by-step things. And I can say really that it looks easy. So I would love to try it.
Yeah, it's so user-friendly. Yeah. That's what I love. I love when I can give something to kindergarten and they get it. And I'm not over here stressed trying to explain it because this is so user-friendly for every age level. Yeah.
This is what we need these days, especially these days. We're so tired of lots of things.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
I want to share one more thing with you guys.
You mentioned the free apps, right? Like free for sure, right? And
yes.
They do exist. So because many people and as educators, they really want to try the thing robotics looks like. It sounds really amazing and unusual, and it's cool, these days, especially for kids. And it's like not fashion, but something that everyone wants that their kids learn. And they think that it's really, really expensive and they can't afford even trying this.
Yes, I am all for free. And I think that's my big thing. I love robotics because, I just love them. I love seeing things come to life. But I love things that are free because there's so many things that teachers are spending their own money on. Education's expensive. Yeah. So if we can do more free things, like Scratch Junior is free. Use it. I love it. I don't know why it's free because
free.
It's so fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. The other free thing I want to share is code.org. I don't know if you've heard of code.org, but I love code.org. It is, again, free. And there are so many fun activities for computer science on here. This is actually the curriculum I use to start teaching students coding. And they have different levels. Like, so my kindergartners code course A, and it's perfect for their level. It has immersive reader. It really breaks it down, and it is amazing. So code.org is another one I'd recommend. And in addition to the courses, they have like hours of code where you're coding animals, animal dance party. They have a Minecraft hour of code. So I know a lot of kids love the Microsoft Minecraft edition. So the hour of code is like a great introduction to Minecraft where you're coding it. And it's just super fun. So another one here is just, there's so many things with code.org. You can code.
You know, Jennifer, I'm sorry that I'm interrupting you. We have taken apart in our, but it was actually, we took apart, it was around 2 or 3 years ago. It was once, but I didn't know that now they've got the integration with immersive reader, which is my insight of today. It's one of them. Thank you so much for sharing this. I think it's really essential, especially to know that we can support and provide this sense of inclusivity and accessibility in our classrooms. And we can do coding.
Yes. That's what I love about code.org more than any other coding curriculum I've used.
It's free. Yes.
It's free, and there's immersive reader, because I've had so many times where, and what I also like, let me back up on this too. So there's different course levels. So I have some 4th and 5th grade students who might be working at like first grade ability level. I can have their classmates on course D, which is their grade level, and I can have that other student on course B, and you can't tell the difference. They look identical. It's all student self-paced, so students are working at their pace, and everyone's computer looks different because of the pace they're at. And I like that I can have students at the level they need, and it's not noticeable. You can't tell that I bumped you down to your level. And I feel like for students, that makes them feel comfortable, and it gives them that confidence. They're not sticking out, that they're doing something different. And especially if you struggle with reading or you have dyslexia or different things, the immersive reader, like, you can still code because it tells you what to do. It reads it to you. It gives you hints. And there's fun videos in it. I love code.org. So
I need to get back to this, because you just inspired me a lot.
Well, thank you. Yeah, but code.org is the last thing I really wanted to share with you guys. I really love free things. I really love empowering students, and I feel like
do.
Yeah, so I feel like Ozobots are my go-to robotics, and my go-to free things for coding is definitely code.org and Scratch Junior.
So it's robotics. I called this in a really wrong way.
What did you call it?
Sorry, robotic. I don't remember actually. Sometimes like robotic. Okay, so it's robotics. Right?
Robotics. Yep, I didn't notice.
Thank
so
you.
You're fine.
Thank you so much. You're too kind. Yeah. Yeah, so that's great. It's actually inspiring, and I know that everyone is already so excited for Christmas, but I'm sure that so who didn't have a chance to join us today, they watched this video, and I'm so grateful to Jennifer. This video is going to be on the channel, and that others, they've got the chance to watch it, to learn all about the coding in such and robotics in such an easy and clear way that you shared. That's phenomenal. And if you have missed the part where I was actually sharing with the resource collection from Jennifer, please check out the live chat on YouTube. You will find it. And there is also a reflection space. Please don't forget to share. And if you share it on social medias anywhere, and please don't forget to tag us and the hashtag and Ozobot as well. And I'm going to share with the certificate of their participation with you. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
One thing I want to add quick, on the resource page, I also added my blog, and not trying to put me out there, but I feel like if you want to start a makerspace, if you want more information on STEM or coding, or like, I like to share holiday STEM challenges that include what I'm doing for coding, what I'm doing for robotics. So definitely check that out. Just if you want to get started with a makerspace, if you want to get started with STEM, I have the resources that I love on there. Because I feel like there's so much information, there's so many resources. Narrowing down what's best for you and your school and your classroom, let me help you. So I shared that just so you can kind of go back to that. And yeah, and I shared my Ozobot resources that I just use because I feel like there's so much out there and I talk really fast and I want you to get all the information.
I do too sometimes. Yeah, I had this feedback. Yeah, not for about you. I mean about me. So
Oh, I was like,
yeah,
I already know.
no, it was like I had one. Anna, please slower, okay? Oh yeah, it's on flip. It was on Flipgrid. I was blah, blah, blah. I was so excited, and they asked me to make it a little bit slow. Yeah, slower.
I do that same thing.
I just want to. I'm so grateful to you, Jennifer. You're amazing, and this comment is totally covers everything that I want to say. That you're a star. Thanks for sharing because it's unique. It's something that most of us we don't know. We have never tried and we have never heard as I mentioned before, like robotics and all the like coding. Oh my gosh, this and numbers. And for me, I'm not a digital person. Like numbers. I was terrified thinking about coding, and you brought it in the best way, I think.
Thank you. I try.
Yes,
and thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. I love sharing, and I'm so passionate about computer science and STEM and all of this stuff. So I love sharing
it. We feel it.
Thank you.
Wow, it was amazing. Please check out the live chat. The live is going to move slowly for 5 minutes, I think, or maybe less. So you can check out all the links in the live chats. And again, enjoy your days till Christmas and after, of course. And I just want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I just want to say thank you so much, Jennifer, again. Thanks everyone who joined us. And this is so priceless when we have a chance to share and especially and learn from the best. So you are the best for us. And
thank you.
Star super teacher. Yes, realistic. And that's incredible. You're natural, you're incredible. And thanks for sharing. You inspired everyone because you do what you like and you do it in the best way. Like, I love watching your stories. Keep sharing because you do it so well, and keep inspiring because you're amazing. Keep rocking.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Okay, thanks everyone. Please don't leave the room. Okay, we are going to grab a selfie, and I just want to wish everyone again Merry Christmas. Enjoy your day. Enjoy if it's the end of the day, and thanks everyone who joined us. I was so excited to see all of you here in the chat. Thanks everyone. And any last words from you, Jennifer?
No.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, me? No. I appreciate you having me. I loved getting to share this. Thank you so much. And I hope our viewers watching, listening, got something out of this. And if you have questions, reach out. I would love to support you in your robotics and computer science journey.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone, and see you in the next videos. Bye. Stay safe.